401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hello, Husker fans. Stop into Zollner Ford Beatrice for all your automotive needs. Whether new or used, car, truck, crossover, SUV, or EV, we've got them. Shop our ever-changing specials at ZollnerofBeatrice.com or give us a call today and go Big Red. We are Zollner Ford Beatrice, Nebraska's volume dealer with the hometown service you expect.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at Schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through October 26th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce New York strip steaks for $6.98 each. USDA Choice Tri-Tip Roast, $8.99 per pound. And from Thursday through Saturday, enjoy a 3-day sale on all natural chicken breasts, $1.99 per pound. Buy 4, get 4 free on seasoned pork patties and all natural pork butt, $1.88 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Bonsall Pool and Spa's annual Spooktacular sale is here. Now through November 1st, get an extra $1,000 off hot tubs at an already low sale price and get $500 off the already low sale prices on infrared and traditional saunas. All hot tub water care products and accessories are also for sale for the Spooktacular sale, now through November 1st at Bonsall Pool and Spa at 33rd and Highway 2. Call for more info at 402-488-0148 or visit bonsallpool.com. For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert.
Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of B.J. Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostrider. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That is right. Welcome in. It is The Drive, 93.7, The Ticket, theticketfm.com. No AD today, tomorrow, or Thursday. Austin Orman will join me tomorrow and Thursday. But today, it's a co-host that I don't get to do shows with very often. If we do, it's for a segment or maybe even just an hour or so. And that is Jake Bachhoven. Bach, good morning, my friend. Thanks for sitting in for AD this morning. We have so much to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to be with you here. It is. It's definitely been an interesting week. I think the press conference made it even more interesting, which allows us to have a very intriguing press conference coming up here with the coordinators today. So lots to dive into. Wish it were for a better, more happy result than what's going on with Minnesota and the loss there. But, one way or the other, it is Husker football. We're in the middle of the season. Nebraska's 5-2, and so there's plenty to be happy about and plenty also to constructive criticism. Is that what you call it?
I mean, Bach, here's what's crazy is you were telling. I mean, we were talking about it right before we went on the air here. Of that, I mean, this is the way that Matt Rule came out yesterday and said some things. I didn't have an issue with it, and we're going to dive into it throughout the course of the show. Definitely want to get your guys' thoughts on it. 402-464-5685 on the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line. But through that, what I kind of want to continue to get to is Nebraska's 5-2. Like, I am definitely not the type to sit here and be like, hey, come on, guys, everything's great. Like, I'm not trying to settle the waters, because I think there is a lot that Nebraska needs to clean up. And over the course of really the last 3 or 4 games, I mean, if you think about the Michigan State game, Nebraska caught a couple of breaks. The Maryland game, they had to scratch and claw their way back. And we went into the Minnesota game saying, look, Nebraska hasn't been playing great football from a fundamental standpoint, but we still expected them to win and win comfortably at that. They didn't. But it doesn't mean that the ship is sinking. They're still 5-2, but man, it feels like it, and Husker fans can correct me if I'm wrong, it just feels like a house of cards right now. Like there's a lot of just unsettled feelings around this Nebraska football program right now. And it's a weird feeling to have at 5-2.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, you look at teams across the country having different levels of happiness at 5-2. Michigan, Notre Dame, obviously 5-2. They're near the top 20, top 10 now. So it just kind of depends on how that's breaking down. What have you done for me recently? Like you said, Nebraska, with one of the most embarrassing losses of the weekend. There's no doubt about it on national TV. Alternate uniforms, everything that went into it. You score 6 points. That's not going to look too good one way or the other. There's no way to break it down. And so that's why that press conference I thought was going to be interesting, because and the post-game press conference, we weren't good enough.
No.
And there's no way, there's no highlight when you only score 6 points. I mean, you could say the defense did this or that, but this was not a great defensive performance either. A lot of missed tackles. And so, it was just a bad game overall, with a week where there was a lot of, the Penn State talk and was that part of what sidetracked this team, or was it, like you said, maybe a little bit of Nebraska football fans? And again, a 5-2 record, you can feel whatever way you want to, but we're starting to see now Maryland and Michigan State, they're combined 1-7 in league play. Like the teams that Nebraska slid by, and so, we didn't know at the time. You're kind of thinking, are these good teams too? They could be kind of moving up. We'll see. Those team seasons aren't doing as well as we maybe had thought they would. So, like you said, it's kind of built on maybe a house of cards there. And then I think with regards to yesterday's press conference, I think Matt Rule has been, throughout his time here, I absolutely love his personality. I love the fact that he's going out and using, I mean, he's son of a preacher, right? So he's he's able to preach. I love that he uses all of that brand, to build Nebraska's brand and the folks that he knows. But when he goes to the press conference, sometimes, and he said it before, he's already made. He doesn't have to, kind of dance around the typical stuff. But sometimes a little bit too much honesty can maybe hurt you a little bit. And that's why I'm interested, especially today. I mean, you got to ask the coordinators, were your position coaches ready? Did they have each one of their positions ready? Did you have a vanilla game plan for the defense? Because again, Coach Rule spelled some of the problems out. And then on the opposite end, obviously, whether Coach Rule says one thing or the other, when you score 6 points, give up 9 sacks, I mean, the offensive coordinator is already going to have a tough media day.
Today is going to be really interesting, because I'm sure some of the conversation is, hey, don't be too transparent. Like that's my job as the head coach. Like don't throw yourselves on. I mean, you can, right? Don't fall on the sword. But essentially, Matt Rule is pretty, outgoing with the whole, hey, I'm the head coach. This is on me. This is what I was saying though yesterday on Monday. Yeah, yesterday regarding like the assistant coaches, Bach, and this might be a hot take, and people might not appreciate this this viewpoint. But my biggest thing is like throughout Matt Rule's 2.5 years of being a head coach here, there's been a lot of misses on the assistant coaching staff. Like there's been a lot of misses, and there's been a lot of turnover for so soon into a tenure. And sure, maybe there'll be fans, I'm sure, that might just chalk it up to say, hey, that's football. That's college football nowadays. And maybe part of it is. But this idea that, and we had text yesterday, and I'm not trying to nag on a texter or anything like that, but they were talking about like bringing consultants in for offensive line coach Donovan Raiola and stuff like that, like they did with Dana last year for Marcus Satterfield, Phil Snow for the defense as well. And I guess my like overarching take, and this is the reason I'm bringing this up again, is because Matt Rule talked about it yesterday on his own of like, these are all indications on a head. This is a part of a head coach's responsibility. You have to identify productive and the right staff members to come in and do their job. And if you don't, or if there's so much turmoil, then that's an indication, and that's indicative of you as the head coach. I don't know where you land on that, but that's how I feel about it. It's like, we can point back and look at a lot of this and say, hey, look, man, this falls on you as the head coach. If the defensive game plan was vanilla, then sure, it's on John Butler, but then it's a byproduct of you because it's your decision to keep and have John Butler as the defensive coordinator, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's weird because Rule kind of says that, and then kind of brings it on to the assistants yesterday, which is interesting. But overall, yeah, through his tenure, it's just interesting. That was my fascination with any sort of the Penn State talk was, and to be clear, I think while it was a distraction and while it was a talking point last week, I was always on the side of, we got to let this play out. I mean, there's no guarantees Nebraska does well, and he's really a true candidate. And now we're seeing the immediate reaction. Well, he's out of it. He might not be. I mean, Nebraska wins the rest of their games again, he might be right back into it. So, that is where it is. But my fascination with that all was, from a Nebraska standpoint, would be if you're Penn State or anybody looking to hire Matt Rule, is I would really be interested for him to tell me in that meeting, what is his staff going to look like? Because at Nebraska, it has not been the smoothest operation as far as picking. And it's not just, position coaches here and there. It's your, at times your coordinator, your offensive coordinator. Now, I don't know if we're in any deep problem with either the coordinators right now. I think the Dana Holgorsen thing has overall gone well. Obviously, this last game did not go too well, but other than that, it's been a smooth operation. But here's the thing that I have a problem with, and it reflects on those coordinators, is the devil is in the details. And we saw that, especially in Scott Frost years. I mean, you could see it, just didn't really care much about the special teams. It always blows my mind. It's like, this is a third of the game. Yeah, it might be out there for 10 or 12 plays, but we know that games come down to special teams, that they can swing games. And so that important level's got to be down there. Now you look at, obviously, I don't have to go through all of the assistants that didn't turn out well. A lot of them offensively, right? But if you look at the last 3 years, and now there's a category where Nebraska's close to dead last. And of course, we know in the first 2 years, they were awful, close to dead last in turnovers. Yeah. Last year, they were awful, close to dead last in special teams. And this year, it's sacks allowed. And that might be, would be troublesome on its own, but it's really troublesome when the offense identity seems to be drop back passing.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know if you can continually. I mean, when you're talking about building a program, there just can't be one giant Achilles heel every year, and then you fix that in the offseason. Then the next year, there's just another giant problem, one of the worst in the college football.
Yeah.
And that does, again, I think, speak to the detail-oriented nature that you would think needs to be there, and the assistant coaching hires that you're making. And then, of course, to befuddle it all, we all know the Raiola connection with the position we're talking about. So it's when you say a little bit of a house of cards or how this thing is all kind of set up, it's got to be handled the correct way. And that's why I think it's such intriguing, an intriguing viewpoint of seeing what's happened here Monday and then what the reaction is here today, because Dana Holgerson's, much like Matt Rule as an offensive coordinator, he's a made man. He doesn't need this to work out even. I mean, he's just kind of doing it to keep himself entertained or to, kind of keep himself doing something in the coaching profession. But he's from what we've seen pretty straightforward and honest as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting just for programming purposes. The press conference did get pushed back an hour. College students are on fall break. So with that, we got an email. The media got an email this morning saying that the football meetings and practices got pushed back just an hour. And so because of that, that means that Dana Holgerson will speak to the media at 12:30 instead of his usual 11:30 time slot. And so if you're out and about wondering, okay, why can't I hear from Dana Holgerson at 11:30 like I can every Tuesday, or John Butler, the same idea there. Today's the only day it just gets moved back an hour to a little past the noon hour. I think, there was a lot there that you said that kind of piqued my interest. And I think a lot of it is the one, there's always one Achilles heel that you talked about. I mean, the rushing defense on the defensive side of the ball is real bad. You look at the difference. I have such a tough time, and maybe I need to get over this. I have such a tough time feeling like, okay, yeah, you know what? Ty and Nash provided that much of a difference. And that's not to say that they weren't incredibly valuable, right? But also, Nebraska, like every other college football team, has the opportunity to make changes, make adjustments, personnel-wise, scheme-wise, if that's your cup of tea. Every team has as good of a chance to either reload or even boost up any position group, whether that's through the portal, whether that's through who you identify of, hey, this is who we want to bring back, or through practices like through the drills and the techniques and the fundamentals of it. You said devil in the details, and like I struggle to really cut and give slack to the defensive front right now because of they don't have Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmaker. Like, I feel like they have, through a lot of it, they have made improvements in certain areas, but then that's an area where, think about the offseason. They intentionally decided and viewed Keona Davis as he was needed to come back. Finally makes a play on Saturday or on Friday against Minnesota. Riley Van Poppel, they redshirted him last year, and he's been non-existent. There has not been a single game, whether it was Cincinnati, Houston Christian, Minnesota, where Riley Van Poppel's been any flash of what we want him or thought he could be this season. And then you look elsewhere, they bring in a new coach in Coach Simpson to coach specifically edge rushers. That has not been good because Nebraska's struggled to get to the quarterback. And then I know we love looking at resumes here, and we love Coach Braden's resume, but it hasn't been good so far. The production on the field in this results-driven business has not been very good. Nebraska's front line, sure, they lost a lot, and they lost, Princewill Umanmielen and Jamari Butler and stuff. But I just don't think we can cut slack and give a plethora of excuses to guys and teams anymore, because everybody has the same opportunity through the offseason to view positions. And this goes back on the head coach, I think. As a collective staff, they have to identify positions of need. And if they didn't view defensive line as a position of need, despite losing all those guys, despite all the new faces, and now they've misidentified and been unable to develop through seven games through the season, then yeah, that's a little bit of a cause for concern for me. I'm not discrediting the value that Ty and Nash gave to this defensive line. But if Ty and Nash solely are the difference between giving up 156 rushing yards per game and giving up just about 100, I mean, you're built on just a couple of guys then. And that's the whole point of Nebraska football, right? Is that it's bigger than any one player.
Yeah, you'd like to see it that way, but I mean, obviously, if we've seen it, Ty Robinsons aren't coming through the building very often.
No,
so
they aren't.
When you lose him, and then I think that,
and so that's my point: is you have to figure out ways to be successful to where you can limit some Achilles heels through the developmental process with guys that aren't second round draft picks and third round draft picks, because those guys don't just walk through the door year after year, even though maybe they should at Nebraska, they don't.
Yeah, you'd like it to eventually, and I think the development there. I mean, development's long been a problem, or something that can improve here at Nebraska, and you would hope by year 3 that would get there. Again, I think sometimes these offseason topics, and we can say, well, it's just no games are being lost and people are overreacting, but sometimes they can be pretty big deals. Nebraska in the portal did get Williams Nwaneri, who has been fantastic.
Yeah.
So they did address at least kind of something there. Dawson McCullough off the edge has been okay.
Has Williams been the most consistent edge guy for Nebraska? Could we agree on that?
I think so. Yeah.
I think so too.
Improving and getting better. So
when we didn't know what he was going to be.
Right. So, but outside of that, I think, you look at last year and all these pieces left, and it's just not, Ty and Nash, which they should have had a better plan for, right? Because these guys were, I believe both of them stayed next year with the COVID year and all that. So these were kind of long-term building blocks that you were going to have to prepare afterwards. But that front seven took a big hit. And then I think we saw John Bullock made an NFL roster this year.
Good
so
point.
you also had an NFL linebacker behind them. And then there's some of those other pieces, that might not be great, might not even do all that great elsewhere, like the Mekhi Bayers and James Williams and, Jamari Butlers they're on that front. Again, might not be doing great elsewhere, but at least there was continuity, there was consistency,
Sure.
there was knowing how to play together. And then you lose your defensive coordinator and all again. So, all that stuff, it just kind of happens in a matter of a couple weeks, and then we kind of move on and think of and forget about it. But that took a big hit to Nebraska's program, clearly. And then the same thing on the offensive line. Nebraska struck out in the portal on several offensive line prospects.
Yeah.
They did end up at the end, I would say, and I think 7 games in the season, we were kind of waiting for this to kind of play out, but maybe overpaying for a few.
Sure.
Right. And not that Rocco Spindler has been particularly bad. Elijah Pritchett is starting. So, they're getting, both of them are starting. They're getting,
you're getting the availability of it.
Right. Yeah. You're getting them out of it, but those were not their first guys. Then they were not the first guys that they needed. But all of that is fascinating to me too, is, especially on the offensive side. And that's why I thought this was the worst game that we've seen. Well, it's easy to say, especially with the result. It's not like I'm going out on a limb here. This was the worst game that we saw Dana Holgorsen call as a Nebraska offensive coordinator. But again, part of it's just like knowing your personnel, knowing your problems, knowing what your weakness is. Specifically, if you've got a mismatch there, maybe you got away with it for a week against Maryland. That doesn't mean it's fixed. In Minnesota had the edge there. Nebraska called, I think, 14 running plays. There were several drives where I call him Amir because he kind of looks like Amir these days, as Emmett Johnson was moving the ball, and then they you just call a first or second down play, you get sacked, he doesn't end up getting the ball, you punt or whatever the case may be, and it's just completely stalled.
And I think here's another way to think about it too, is rather than like part of coaching, and this is how we can put a positive spin on this, is part of coaching is the understand your weaknesses, like you just said, but also understand your strengths. Like that's the other part of it. And Nebraska, we say all of this, and it sounds like we're trying to like pour cold water on the entire thing. But there are things Nebraska does well. Like throughout this season, Emmett Johnson has been your most consistent playmaker. In the receiving game, he's been fine out of the backfield, but in the running game as well.
Yeah.
In a running back room that behind him has not been anything what you need it to be or what you were hoping for it to be. And yet Emmett's continuously been able to carry a workload that Nebraska fans have been begging for. Like, hey, Huskers, get a guy that can carry it 20 times a game, right? And maybe part of that in the last couple of years has been the lack of commitment to the run, lack of commitment to one player, right? And it's been the whole, like, everybody loves the running back by committee phrase. But then in addition to that as well, is like, that is something Nebraska's done well, and they just completely went without it on Friday. When things were going bad in a 1-point game, in a one-possession game, when they were up 3-0, when it was tied 0-0, they didn't even attempt it. And I'm not a run the damn ball guy. But when you do something throughout the course of 6 games, sample size, that has proven success, and then for whatever reason, game 7, you just completely go without it. And we might hear the reason behind it being, well, we expected to get more than 50 plays. Well, sure, but that the balance still wasn't there. Even on those 50 plays, the balance wasn't there. And the game was never really out of hand. I mean, it felt like it being there. It felt insurmountable at 14-6. But the game on the scoreboard was never really out of hand.
Yeah.
The way Minnesota won that game and the way that they were able to get Drake Lindsey to complete, 16 of 20, a week after he was less than 50% of his completions. This is how you executed a game plan. And PJ Fleck, you have to give him credit. They identified that one of the weaknesses of Nebraska is obviously the rushing defense. Despite Minnesota this year struggling on the ground. I mean, we're talking bottom 50 in the country in Power 4 football and being able to run the football in yards per game. They came in, Darius Taylor, they instituted a ground game, they stuck to it, and that allowed then Drake Lindsey to just throw underneath drag routes the entire time. Boy. And there were no adjustments defensively. And so, yeah, when Matt Rule yesterday comes out and is like, yeah, the defensive game plan was vanilla. I am so intrigued to see, for those 2 reasons especially, because the contrast of game plans and how they were executed on Friday. How does Dana Holgorsen defend not utilizing the most consistent player Nebraska's had this offseason or this season on offense? And then on the defensive side, how does John Butler how does he respond to Matt Rule saying that his defensive game plan and the execution was vanilla?
Yeah.
That is fascinating to me.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, and to your point, it was those drag routes. That might be a question for him. Is like, how did drag routes really kind of pick you apart this weekend? Because that was frustrating. Again, though, sometimes though too, it is. I feel bad for the coaches because you come in here and you ask these questions, and Bo Pelino has kind of got in trouble for it's the execution. Then week after week, it's the execution. And then eventually, after 7 years and sometimes getting blown out, you're like, oh, well, whatever. Stop saying that. It's on you. And to a degree, that's true. At the same time, it's like, as a defensive guy, sometimes like I've got guys there. It's not schemed particularly poorly. They just got to make the tackle. You just got to angle it correctly. And again, that goes back to coaching and what so that's a big emphasis this week is tackling.
I do think guys just need to go make plays.
Right.
Like at some point, like we talk about, especially on the lines, like guys just have to go make plays. Like Riley, like we talked to Riley Van Poppel. This is what you worked for. This is why you sat out last year, is so that you could get your body, your mind, your mental reps. Everything could be ready to go and be sharp this year. I mean, look at the opportunity for all these guys. Keona Davis, because nobody other than Williams Nwaneri has really taken a hold in that room, in that whole like front 7 room, I guess. And so it's like look at the opportunity that's in front of you. How do you not go make a play? Like, how do you? I did not understand like this idea that Nebraska should struggles waking up. I've hated that thought process for years, where it's just like you have a chance to get bowl eligible on October 17th on Friday. You're playing on national TV against Minnesota on the road, and you have thousands of fans that have traveled to come and watch you as well. And you're struggling to get motivation? Like, what on earth? Like, how? What's that mindset? Because now you go into an 11 a.m. game, and we can make the whole like cakes and eggs jokes and stuff, but there is concern for me to where it's like, does Nebraska, are they able to get up? Are they able to perform on Saturday? Because Northwestern, they've beaten up on some bad teams these last couple of weeks. But Northwestern, there's a matchup where they run the ball okay, and their defense isn't bad either. And so, they have a defensive-minded head coach in David Braun. Preston Stone, it looks like a competent Big Ten quarterback as well. It's a thing to where if Nebraska gets lazy and they start sleeping on it, now I'm not too concerned because Matt Rule is usually a decent motivator when it comes to this. Saturday is going to be really interesting. And they can say whatever they want at the press conferences, but the real telltale sign is going to be on Saturday.
Yeah, and I think it is, this week I saw the line open, what was it, 6.5 or whatever?
I think so.
Or open at 9.5 down to 6.5, I think was the story, because I don't see that. I mean, I understand Northwestern, maybe it's just the Nebraska fan in me, and I think Matt Rule generally with these bad losses over the last couple of years has been able to bounce back. All that being said, most of the time he's also 1-10 after win number 5 on the year. So somewhere in between there, I suppose. But at the same time, this is a Northwestern team that has 3 Big Ten wins under their belt. That's going to be that's tough. Nebraska's really struggled, obviously, in every category over the last 10 years. But to get conference wins, and that's where you kind of wonder if there starts to be a division. And that's why I looked at it. Like most of Nebraska's 4 of their final 5 opponents are 3-1 in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So this is not going to be an easy stretch. There's not anybody ranked, but they're all
despite what we thought at the beginning of the year.
Right.
Despite what and Nebraska historically over the past decade, I know Matt Rule doesn't like us comparing his teams to former coaches and their teams. Nebraska has not played good football in November.
No.
They just haven't. And so that's why, once again, you look at the opportunity that was ahead of them on Friday, and there's still a lot ahead of them. Like, there's still a lot of opportunities ahead of them to have success, but you got to take care of business on Saturday. Speaking of Saturday, if you're planning a trip to Memorial Stadium for a Husker game, they can be fun for the whole family, but sometimes younger children can't sit through the whole game. The Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates. While the parents enjoy the game inside the stadium, their kids get their own game day experience from our friends at the Lincoln Children's Museum. Drop-off is 90 minutes before the game. You can pick up your child or children up to 60 minutes after the game. And while you're cheering on the Huskers, the kids can enjoy fun activities that involve science, math, engineering, and all of them are centered around the theme of football and getting active. It's affordable, it's convenient, and it's just steps away from Memorial Stadium. Register your child ahead of time register your child or children ahead of game day, prior to game day, online at the LincolnChildren'sMuseum.com. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to dive into this here, a little bit of Matt Rule. Bach with me for the first hour. Terrell Farley joins me for hour number 2. We're having a little Bach and the Black Shirt crossover here
There we go.
on a Tuesday. We'll step aside. The drive brought to you by Doors Plus. We'll step aside.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Fuhrer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Fuhrer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers. If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Dana Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Dana Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Dana Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com. All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Once again, AD out for the next couple of days. Bach with me here on a Tuesday. Terrell will also join us in the 10 o'clock hour. Austin will be with me for Wednesday and Thursday show. A little bit of a programming note as well, as later this week, actually on the call for Fox Sports 1 is going to be our friend of the show, Connor Onion. And so I would imagine, I have not texted Connor yet, I would imagine that Connor will either stop in the station at some point. Normally, when he comes to Lincoln, Fox will put him up in the Embassy Suites. Okay. And so he usually just walks on over and has a cup of coffee from the mill. And he was here, stopped in the station last time, did not get in the studio, but did stop into the station when he was here last time. But he and Mark Helfrich are on the call. That's who he calls games with every single week. So it'd be interesting. It'd be great to get Helfrich in here.
Yes, it would.
Mark Helfrich is interesting.
That is. I kind of forgot that he transitioned over there to. I mean, I see him on the call once in a while, but that's a guy that you would think could still get into coaching if he wanted to, but it must be enjoying the broadcast life.
Well, and don't forget, Mark Helfrich, actually, he was the coach for Nebraska's last ranked win.
Okay, yeah.
Well, against Oregon.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Right? Because that is Nebraska's last ranked, right? Because they lost to Michigan.
Yeah, that seems right.
I mean, what was that, 2016?
29 straight or whatever it is.
I'm going to fact check that here. But I believe Mark Helfrich was the coach record. He was the coach in, this would have been 2016, right?
Yeah.
He was the coach. It was his last year at Oregon. He went 4-8. Mark Helfrich was the coach of the team that Nebraska won against in the last top 25 team.
That is crazy. That would be a good trivia. That would have been tough. That'd be tough to come up with.
Oregon went 4-8 this year. Here's a trivia question for you, Bach. Do you remember who Oregon's quarterback was that year? So,
oh man, it was like a transfer.
It was, and I want to say that. Because Herbert was out for the game that he played against Nebraska. So it was a backup quarterback. I'm trying to find the game log just to make sure that I'm right. Or rather, Justin Herbert was a freshman. And yeah, he was injured. No, excuse me. They made a change at quarterback. And so Justin Herbert was a freshman. They benched the guy that started against Nebraska.
And okay, so Herbert took over?
Herbert took over as a true freshman at Oregon this year in 2016. On October 1st, he took over. And the quarterback that started against Nebraska, Dakota Prukop. Dakota Prukop.
I was thinking like Suckup or something. I was gonna butcher it, but something like that. Yeah.
Dakota Prukop, excuse me, was the quarterback against the Huskers. Well, against Nebraska, 14 of 23 through the air, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. Had 97 rushing yards though.
The trivia for that would be wild too, because you can keep going with it. The OC for that team, do you see that?
For Oregon?
For Oregon that year.
I do not. Oh, wait, hold on. Don't tell me.
It's
Don't
a
tell
name
me.
you would know.
It would have been, obviously was not Kenny Dillingham. It was after Frost.
This is only years the OC there.
Oh, I don't know.
Although he was the passing game coordinator for a few more years beyond that.
I don't know.
Matt Lubick.
Whoa. That is a great trivia.
Yeah, and even the defensive coordinator is a known name. I wouldn't expect you to get it, but Brady Hoke.
For Oregon?
For Oregon. What a wild
Explains why
team.
Nebraska was able to win.
Yeah, this
I mean,
team is interesting.
seriously, it explains why Nebraska was able to win. If you remember that Michigan game that Nebraska won at home, here's a question for you: Who was the one of the rushers for Royce Freeman?
Okay,
Royce Freeman was the starting running back.
I remember that game. I remember that because he was getting like 200 yards a
Yeah.
pop every week.
Yep, and he was held to 5 carries for 31 yards.
Nice.
Nebraska's rush defense did a nice job that day. Who led the Huskers in tackles? Nathan Gary, Kean Williams, Kyron Williams, and Chris Jones. Freedom Akmaladin I was high on there. Josh Banderas. There was a lot of interesting names here. Even DeMornay Pierce-Nell had a tackle that day.
Oh, nice.
Must have had a pick.
Good job, DPA.
Yeah, Tommy Armstrong. How about this day from Tommy? 17 of 33 for 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
That'll work.
And on the ground, Tommy had 16 carries for 95 yards and a touchdown.
Now, what was the final score? That was like Nebraska to storm back in that game,
Yeah,
right?
35-32 they won. Nebraska was up 28-20. Then they were down 32-28. And with 2 minutes left in the game, Tommy ran it in from 34 yards out. And then Nebraska won 35-32.
I'm going to start adding that to when I complain about how Nebraska has lost 29 straight to top 25 teams. Now I'm going to add, and the team they did beat finished 4-8.
They did finish 4-8. They got a coach fired that year.
That's right.
Here's the thing. Here's what's crazy. So I was looking at Helfrich's record. I can't believe we're talking about this. I was looking at Helfrich's record, and as a coach, he was 37-16. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
That's why I was surprised.
He won 70% of his games.
He's just been in the broadcast booth for 10
He
years.
got fired.
Now.
That's funny. All right. Well, anyway, I guess we go to break on that one. We were going to talk more Huskers, and we will when we come back. But yeah, so at some point, just programming notes. I would imagine that we will be joined by the guy that you'll hear on the TV sets this weekend. Connor will probably join us at some point this weekend. But all right, anyway, let's take a break. We continue and finish up hour number 1 of the drive after this.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through October 26th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce New York strip steaks for $6.98 each. USDA Choice Tri-Tip roasts $8.99 per pound. And from Thursday through Saturday, enjoy a 3-day sale on all natural chicken breasts, $1.99 per pound. Buy 4, get 4 free on seasoned pork patties and all natural pork butt, $1.88 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com. Bonsall Pool & Spa's annual Spooktacular sale is here. Now through November 1st, get an extra $1,000 off hot tubs at an already low sale price and get $500 off the already low sale prices on infrared and traditional saunas. All hot tub water care products and accessories are also for sale for the Spooktacular sale, now through November 1st at Bonsall Pool & Spa at 33rd and Highway 2. Call for more info at 402-488-0148 or visit bonsallpool.com. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. Looking for someone to clean out your gutters or aerate your yard this fall? Call Isaac at Woida Outdoor Solutions today at 402-607-9154. Get your gutters clean today with a phone call to Woida Outdoor Solutions at 402-607-9154.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out Renew PM, the ultimate nighttime recovery formula. Fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up refreshed. Renew PM can only be found at Nutrition Authority, the home of better than internet pricing. Own the night with Renew PM. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Tune in every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. for The Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters. Sit back and enjoy listening to Dr. Chatters discuss real stories involving struggle, inspiration, and real-life experiences with special guests and insights. Remember, the higher the pressure, the greater the lift. The Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters. Every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole Ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O, sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Pinnacle Bank Arena. Friday, October 31st. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pile-Up. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. The Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine and it will be breezy. An afternoon high around 62. Tonight, clear skies and light winds, low around 36. And tomorrow, areas of frost in the morning, otherwise plenty of sunshine with a light breeze, high near 66. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, everybody. Charlie Stone back again with Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, there are so many great things to talk about right now. Let's start with new and pre-owned vehicles.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, we're all excited those days of inventory shortages are behind us. Right now, we have more than 400 new Hondas to choose from and over 125 pre-owned with just about any make or model in stock.
I know certified pre-owned Hondas are a very important part of your dealership. Tell us about certified, Andy.
We always have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in stock in like new condition, and they also come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
How about service?
You know, our amazing service department not only services Hondas, but we service just about any make, and we are one of the largest tire dealers in the state. Look us up the next time you need tires on your car.
Experience the best at the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. This is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sater alongside Jake Bachhoven. Bach is joining me for one more segment, and then we bring in the black shirt, Terrell Farley. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys as long as the show continues on. Huskers P, I got to agree with this one. Sick of hearing of the uniforms. It wasn't the uniforms that lost the game or a curse. It was just terrible football by our Huskers. I get so annoyed by like the whole surrender white type of thing. And I wish that they would wear them again just so they can just win. Like, I'm ready for it to be done.
It is interesting, though. I mean, especially with the pink element to it, which, again, was for breast cancer awareness and all that, which was good. But it did come off a little bit it just comes off a little bit like maybe you're doing that for a game you feel comfortable win, right?
Oh, sure.
Like, you're not going to choose.
Well, wait. USC in 2 weeks.
Right. And that one, that's what's been interesting over the years. I'm almost more interested in the side conversation about that than the actual topic, because obviously uniforms is going to make you win or lose a game. And so that's just silly to begin with. But over the years, they kind of started off with like alternate uniforms for big games. Then they started losing too many of them. So they switched it to alternate uniforms for games they thought they would win.
Buffalo.
And the Buffalo game, that sort of thing. And now they've kind of went a little bit back. I mean, this USC game was always going to be an interesting game.
I appreciate Scott in Minnesota here. We've lost plenty wearing the red pants on the road. We sure have.
Very true, yeah.
There's been a lot of losses in the non-alternate uniforms as well. Ben says nothing looks worse than getting crushed in alternate uniforms. I mean, here's the thing. I'm thrilled that, by the way, that the USC game is at night.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know what the temperature is in Husker Nation. I'm happy that it's an 11 a.m. game this weekend. Get it done. And then I also like the USC. They're doing the blackout theme. We'll see how many fans participate in that. We'll see.
Be interesting to see where Nebraska is heading into that game, right? I mean, I think that's going to partially dictate how much people are into the blackout.
5-3
could be.
What do you expect to happen this Saturday, Buck?
I expect a tough game. I mean, I think it's going to come down to you want a bold prediction of Huskers going to win or lose, but ultimately, I think this is a game Northwestern team. I think they could do a lot of the things that that Minnesota was able to do. From week to week, it's like I looked at Northwestern; they only have 11 sacks on the year, so they're okay. Well, maybe that won't be, but it doesn't necessarily take the greatest pass rush to disrupt Nebraska's offensive line and in pass protection. In any case, again, which how much of it's on the offensive line? That's been a big debate this weekend.
But. Are you offensive lines at fault or not offensive line?
Well, I mean, I think that's why I fall back to pass protection, because if you throughout the year you got 25 sacks. How many of it's going to be on a running back for not chipping in as well? How many if it's going to be on even play calling? I think a lot needs to be deciphered there. Sometimes it is just the offensive line getting beat. A lot of it, of course, I haven't mentioned Dylan holding on to the ball, which is a bit of a problem. So, I mean, it's all encompassing. But unfortunately, I've been able to address Nebraska's tackle issues for years, because they've had Benhart and Corcoran for I think Frank Solich might have recruited these guys.
Turner Corcoran's still on this team.
Oh, I know. But they had them for years, and they were suboptimal, if you want to put it that way. And they never had anybody come in and take those jobs. And now that they graduated and moved on, there's, like you said, Turner Corcoran's like 3 surgeries deep, and he's still one of our best choices.
No, Teddy Prohaska. Teddy Prohaska's four surgeries
right,
deep, or whatever it is. Jeez, it's crazy. What if I told you that Northwestern averages just shy of 200 rushing yards per game? They are top 35 in the country in rushing yards per rushing offense, I should say. Average 196 yards of rushing per game.
That's what I think. I mean, I think the whole idea, I mean, Matt Rule said if they're struggling to boo them, there's going to be times in this game where I wouldn't ask for that, because it's going to be a back and forth game. I don't think this is a game where Nebraska goes in there and gets a comfortable 14-point lead. I don't know how anybody could think that now. That's why I was surprised the line opened up at 9. Again, this is a Northwestern teams with 3 Big Ten victories. They might not be all that impressive or flashy, but they get the job done like an old Big Ten West team does.
The unnamed texter got me to laugh. It just goes 5124 goes, we're bleeped if they run that well. Oh man, that's funny. Ben asked the question, is Dylan considered mobile? I know some folks claim to know ball, and it seems like they're always telling me that my eyes are lying to me and that Dylan is actually ineffective mobile quarterback. I lumped them into the same group of stats nerds who try to tell everyone we should go for it on fourth down every single time. I would not categorize Dylan as mobile.
No.
I thought, okay, here's a take. I honestly thought that Friday was Dylan's worst game at maneuvering the pocket in his entire Husker career. I thought that it was his worst game at maneuvering around in the pocket. Now, maybe some of the time, sure, did the pocket collapse? Yeah, right? Like we can always chalk that up. But I think also, I mean, there was some, bad. I watched that game over and kind of slowed it down at times and stuff. And there were a lot of moments where, and I'm no quarterback guru, but there's a lot of moments to where step up in the pocket in their space. And that's where I think one thing with Dylan, sometimes it almost looks casual. And I have to play this game back and forth with myself and my interior thoughts, because I would kind of equate it to Dylan to like Bryce McGowan's, where there was a lot of people when Bryce McGowan's was here that was like, oh, Bryce isn't running, Bryce isn't sprinting, he's not trying hard enough. No, there's just a certain caliber of athlete that it just looks effortless, right? That's like when you're a quote unquote 5-star, like that's part of it. There's a difference, though, I think, between effortless and casual. And I think sometimes with Dylan, it sometimes gets to be a little casual. And whether that's a deep ball, whether it's the way it looks, the way his footwork of it, there was a lot of times, like, we love the cliches of like, oh, step into a throw and plant your foot and stuff and use your legs and all this, that, and the other. But I think there were genuine times, especially on Friday, where we can go back on the film and be like, yeah, you know what? There are moments where Dylan could step up and he'd have a much more powerful base with his throwing motion, and he might be able to throw a more decisive pass, because there's a lot of his balls, especially the ones that are deep down the field, that do flutter, and they don't necessarily have the tightest of spirals and spins, and there's just a lot to it. And so I kind of wonder at times if there are moments to where it is a little too casual at times. But I did think that this was not a great week of maneuvering the pocket for Dylan.
Yeah, no, it was not his best week. Especially, he got away, the left-handed throw, falling down sort of stuff. So I think that's what kind of frustrates me, because it's fine, and you got a completion, they made it out of there, but that kind of stuff. It feels like at times feels like he can bail himself out of any situation. And so maybe the idea that he needs to, step up in the pocket or find somewhere cleaner to go. He maybe feels like he can bail himself out of it. But I think the biggest thing too is we have to understand too, he's not, even though he's got a great arm, he is a human. There is something to rattling quarterbacks.
Oh,
and
sure.
He's been rattled, and he certainly was. The 8th sack, because there was a 9th one.
Yeah.
He just laid down and he just sat down. Why? Because he's been shellacked throughout the game. And we count the sacks. We don't, as much count the hits and the pressures. He can be rattled just like many quarterbacks, especially his age.
I will also say, when he came into the press conference in the room, immediately after the game, he like sat down, and he was like an old man sitting down in a recliner after being up. He let out an audible, like as he sat down. So like, and we asked him like, how are you feeling physically? And he's like, I'm sore, but it's football and stuff. And so I don't discredit that in the slightest, but I think there are times where you can freeze things and say, okay, you could have done this a little bit better. And I don't think it's the conversation of like the coaching staff doesn't want to call him out publicly, but I hope that there are adjustments being made. Like he sure as heck hasn't arrived. And I think he and his dad and his uncle and all the people would be the first one to tell you that. Like Dylan Raiola has not arrived to college football. There's been flashes, certainly, but there is also stuff that you can work on. Big part of it, also the offensive line. Yeah, the offensive line, the pressure, everything. The whole operation needs to get light years better. in my opinion. So, all right, Bach, appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always a good time. Enjoy Minnesota, Iowa this weekend.
I will be doing that.
Bach's going to a non-Nebraska game in Iowa City. All right, let's step aside. You're going to go watch the Minnesota team that beat Nebraska.
That's right. I don't even know who I'm cheering for. I just want to go and watch some college football.
You've also been to the USC spring game.
I have been, yes. I've been to a UNLV. I went to Vegas and went to a UNLV regular season game. So.
You're an odd man. All right, let's step aside. Farley, the black shirt, joins me next.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out Renew PM, the ultimate nighttime recovery formula. Fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up refreshed. Renew PM can only be found at Nutrition Authority, the home of better than internet pricing. Own the night with Renew PM. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Midwest Bank is proud to serve Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank making local decisions, supporting community organizations, and helping businesses succeed. With 10 locations throughout the state, from Wisner to Deschler, Norfolk to York, and right here in Lincoln too. Whether you're opening a checking account, buying your first home, in need of an ag loan, or in search of cash management services for your business, we're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations. Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine and it will be breezy. Afternoon high around 62. Tonight, clear skies and light winds, the low around 36. And tomorrow, areas of frost in the morning, otherwise plenty of sunshine with a light breeze, high near 66. I'm meteorologist Kyle Becker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer. Usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Pinnacle Bank Arena. Friday, October 31st. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pileup. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. The Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at Schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert.
Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of BJ Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostrider. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, thanks to Jake Bachhoven for sitting in with me for hour number one. As that first hour flew on by, we talked a little Mark Helfrich, which we didn't expect to talk Mark Helfrich on the show, but we talked about him. We talked a lot of Husker football, a lot of thoughts on Matt Rule's press conference yesterday, which we'll get to a couple more of those comments and things from Coach Rule. But before we do, we must introduce the gentleman sitting in with me for hour number two. It's Terrell Farley. Farley, what is up? You are on mic 3. Hello.
Hello, Nicholas.
There he is. It's always a pleasure for you to join me.
Yes, sir.
Why are you sitting the way you're sitting? Why are you?
How should I sit?
Well, I'm not.
Should I be slouched back in the chair?
I'm not trying to tell you how to
like
sit,
that?
but you're being very, very you're being very noticeable with like your posture, and you're trying to be. I don't know. It doesn't feel normal.
Well, you don't do a show with me. It's called being professional, Nick. So you have to.
Is that a dig at AD?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not slouched over in the chair. I mean, there
are moments where AD, I guess, does.
Yeah. Well, I've grown up in the radio business, as you might
have.
say.
You have.
So, I'm trying to take a professional approach. Let's get the show going.
I will say, I mean, there has been moments. I've had a lot of people that have come up to me and go, "Yeah, I really enjoy listening to Farley," and I'm like, "Yeah, he's." You invest it, like you invest energy and time, and in this, like that's all we can ask for. In all honesty, like here's the thing: if you put effort into it, Husker football, you put effort into it, good things will happen, results will happen. How about this? Put in some effort and get your phones out. It's time for the IBA $1,000 cash contest. Keyword: text it to 508-777-1000, 508-777-1000, or you can head online to theticketfm.com and click on the Cash Blitz to enter. Today's keyword is fee. Fee. F-E-E. Fee. Remember, every keyword you enter is another chance to win. One lucky listener will take home 1,000 buckaroos tomorrow around noon. Don't wait. Get that keyword in now. Once again, that phone number, 508-777-1000, or online at theticketfm.com. All right, Farley,
I got a question. I want to ask you something.
Start us off.
I want to ask you something. Just what we hear a lot about in Nebraska football is Dylan taking sacks.
Sure.
Sack here, sack there, sack everywhere.
That's true.
Have we ever thought about doing stuff out of the shotgun?
Well, I will say this: Nebraska's conventional run game, and this doesn't go to the sacks. Nebraska's conventional run game has been much better this year when they're under center. Statistically, it's proven that as well. I think that for Nebraska as well, in terms of out of the shotgun, are you talking like pass plays?
Yeah. I mean,
Nebraska does to a certain extent.
I mean, not much as they need to, but because most of Dylan's sacks are under the center. I mean, if you look at
play action stuff,
yeah, play
For
actions,
sure.
just drop straight back. I mean, I think if you put this guy in a shotgun and have decent blockers, I mean, you need 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball. Dylan has more than 3 to 5 seconds.
He sure
on
does.
multiple occasions.
He sure does.
When I watched that game Friday night.
Yeah.
So it's partly because when you talk about the receivers we have and everything like that, I watched Minnesota go from a traditional zone defense, and then they tighten up in the second half and went to zone man, which in a zone man is that your two outside guys are man. And then the rest of the inside from linebackers to strong safety to middle linebackers, those guys was in the zone. So Nebraska was kind of, I think they shot themselves in the own foot because they couldn't get off the ball on the outside. Then when you did, you either overthrew the ball or you dropped the pass, and then I think Lindenmeyer was doing a great job. And that's when Minnesota really tightened it up and then got into a real man. So, I think when we look at the things that we do and we need to do the things that we're successful at, I think Hoganson needs to go back and watch things that teams are picking up on the concept. Emmett needs to be fed the ball more. I think Emmett is probably a 30 carry guy. This guy is fresh. This guy
he's been able to show that he can carry that load. I think, and this is a very, I don't know, I want to say amateur take. I think that as much as Bach and I were talking earlier in the show about like weaknesses of this team, it's also Dana's responsibility to address and assess the strengths, because there are things that Nebraska does well. Like there's parts of Dylan's game as well that he does well. And a lot of it is up front, especially at the tackle positions, right? Like if you're going to roll a quarterback out, how can the tackle hold a block long enough without committing a penalty to where Dylan has time to throw? I think one thing that Nebraska needs to do a little bit better, and Terrell, correct me if I'm wrong here, but like a simple levels package where you can out of the shotgun, because we see Big Ten teams roll it and run it against Nebraska time and time again. And I'm sure maybe that you need to get the right look defensively and you need to be able to scheme it and other things. But like they love the RPO stuff, and I get that. But also like a simple, if you want to go from under center to provide a little bit of a play action element potential, a simple like boot where you have Lindenmeyer in a short route, you can have a Ja'Cory Barney in the intermediate game, and then you can go deep with Isaiah or Dane Key, something of that element. I think number one, because Dylan does throw well when he's rolling to his right. We've seen that time and time again. It's the Minnesota ran it last week. We've seen Iowa do it so many times. These quick and different these like different levels. And they ran it last week with Emmett out of the backfield. Ja'Cory was running an out, like a kind of a post to the out to the boundary. And then there was also one on the other side of the field. I think Isaiah was running some route as well. And Dylan missed him. So you can draw it up, but then to your point, you got to be able to execute, and that falls on the players.
Well, it falls on Dylan because that panic time, that panic alert button is really going off in his head, because I seen certain times when Emmett was wide open on the sideline right there. You could just chunk it down to him. You're looking for too many options, and it's taking too many times for your routes to develop. So, and if I play, I'm what you call you can call me a keyboard warrior coach, or a PlayStation
an armchair coach.
A PlayStation coach, because I will come out with two backs in the backfield, split them out. shotgun. Have both of them run, what they call those little outs, flares.
Yeah,
so that gives me a better
Into the
option,
flats,
left,
yeah.
right, or your three guys down the middle. We're not doing what we need to get the ball game, so we see the results at the end of the game.
I just think, so we did get asked this question on the text line from Big Bird. Do we know Dylan's average time to throw, either per game or the season? I will say this. It was in the Michigan game where the offensive line got a lot of crap for it. It was on average on dropbacks 4.3 seconds to throw, which is
way more
which
than
is
enough time.
which is enough time, right?
Yeah,
And now I will
3.5.
say a big issue on Friday, and Matt Rule kind of talked about this a little bit. I tweeted it out on Friday during the game. Nebraska's receivers were not winning one-on-one battles. We're not. And that played right into Minnesota's book because, and maybe this is part of it, what we're going to hear from Dana Holgorsen today.
It's the same thing.
But I'm saying, here's
Yeah.
what I imagine what we're going to hear from Dana is some element or some piece of, essentially, not verbatim, but hey, we didn't feel like we could run the ball. They were stacking the box. They were rushing. They were bringing pressure from other areas. We didn't know how to pick it up. We had to throw the ball. And when we had to throw the ball, we needed a guy to go win a battle one-on-one, and our receivers just didn't do that. Well, sure. But you know what? You have athletes. Ja'Cory Barney is one of the best athletes on this team. And to not be able to get him open on a drag, on some crosser, on an easy pitch and catch is absolutely absurd to me. That is the biggest thing for me these last 4 games. He's had 10 catches these last 4 games. I mean, that's a little over 2 a game. And it's been in times where your offense has been at a standstill. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, we'll look at it and say, oh, well, Nebraska's scoring 30, 35 points a game. They're doing fine on offense. No, it's clunky as hell.
Just scored 6 points.
There's been, you've scored 6 points. We haven't seen Ja'Cory go on any of the jet sweeps like we saw earlier in the year or early in his career.
Last year,
those are ways you can get guys that have extreme athleticism and are potential mismatches to say, hey, you know what? Guess what? If I'm a coach, and I'm the farthest thing from it, but if I'm going to sit there and go, okay, how can I get Ja'Cory Barney the ball and potentially in a one-on-one situation? A jet toss is a simple way to do it. And if I say, okay, you know what, Ja'Cory, we need you to beat one guy in space, one guy, whether that's with some move, whether that's through your athleticism, whether it's you getting to the boundary and turning up field, we just need you to beat one guy. Guess what? I'm kind of putting all my chips in and saying, yeah, you know what? I have confidence in Ja'Cory being able to beat a guy one-on-one in space because he's an exceptional athlete. And the idea that Nebraska's struggled to, whether it's been schematically, whether it's been by quarterback decision, to just not get Ja'Cory Barney involved in the offense is absolutely absurd to me, Terrell.
Yeah, it's the small things, Nick. And like when you see it on the passing routes, the backs, when they post a chip, they're not chipping like they should. They give a little bump. Now, I've watched film on the defensive side. When you play linebacker, Nick, and you have a slot receiver, if that back comes in your space, this is when the play ain't going. You knock him off track.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. You let guys run right past you, and those are the guys who make the plays because you don't give them that bump, that touch. Every time I was taught to do my drops, if a guy comes in my space or even crosses my face, you give him a little bump, knock him off pass, and that knocks him off his route.
Absolutely.
We're not doing the little things in football that need to be done to win the big games.
It's interesting. Big Daddy Travis on the text line says, is Dane Key getting double covered as well? He towers over a lot of DBs, takes a 50-50 ball deep. Here's what I'd say is teams aren't having to double up these guys. Really? I mean, because Nebraska, number one, they're either you can ramp up some pressure internally through either the A or the C gap, and Nebraska can't stop it. And then, or number two is guys aren't winning one-on-one battles, so why would you put more attention on them, right? Like if I can consistently, if I'm a defensive coordinator and I can see that Terrell as a defensive back can consistently handle his own in one-on-one coverage, essentially with another wide receiver, why would I go ahead and put Bach on him with Terrell when I could use Bach in another area of the field, right? And so, like, no, the answer to that, Big Daddy Travis, is no. Like, Nebraska just wasn't winning one-on-one battles, and that is so much about effort, Terrell, which we can complain and we can cry and moan about the coaching and the lack of development and stuff. But at some point, you just got to go make plays. You got to go make plays. And I think Matt Rule is teeter-tottering, and I think we started to see it a little bit yesterday. He speaks to his players through the media time and time again, and he is so strategic with what he says. And there's a reason he was so, I wouldn't call it outlandish, but so upfront and transparent yesterday, is because I think he's teeter-tottering in this world of like, I need to tell them that they got to get their butt in gear without losing the locker room, if that makes sense. Because I told Bach this at the start of the show, Terrell, it feels that this is such an unsettling time right now. It feels like on this staff and in this football program, they're 5-2, which is great, but it feels like such an unsettled time. It feels like it's a house of cards right now. And one negative thing can blow this whole thing down. And I think it's a struggle for Husker fans, because we all thought that we were trending in a trajectory that the house of cards was not a thing anymore.
Well, first of all, we let the media get to us, and that was the Kool-Aid we listened to. And not when I say not national media. When I talk about this part,
okay, yeah, national, because there was a lot.
National media did this to Nebraska. The Barstools, the Urban Meyers, the guys who believed in that third year of Matt Rule.
But can't you say that that's on the players though too?
No, they never did anything to be put in that position yet. This was all third year hype.
Sure, but Terrell, then block out the noise.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's a fault of both.
Yeah,
of both parties.
Both parties,
right? Because like the national folks didn't do their job, but their job is to get clicks and get engagement, and they know that anything but with the Nebraska name will get engagement. But then on the second part of that, it's the athlete's job. It's the people that are in there at Memorial Stadium to be able to tune that out too.
Yeah,
because like we can't chalk it up to an excuse of like, oh well, they let the national media get to them.
Matt Rule made several excuses the other day. Not having your team prepared, not having your team physical enough. First of all, if your team, you know if they're physical or not. So football is already a physical game.
Isn't that the most alarming comment?
Yeah.
I didn't have our guys ready physically.
You know what? If this team hasn't already, or is about to call a players only meeting, they should have probably did that Sunday. They probably should have did that last week. They probably should have did that before they knew they were struggling against teams their last 3 games.
I think this is the quote that I want to play. Coaches not following the game plan. Here's what Matt Rule had to say, because I think there was a specific comment that was very alarming, referring to essentially he was trying to tell everybody all week that Minnesota was not going to be a cakewalk, and they weren't listening to him. Here's what Matt Rule had to say.
I think the way it works is the head coach of any team says, hey, this is the vision for this game, and then people carry it out. And when it doesn't get carried out, my job, A, is to get on the coaches, but then B, take ownership of it. Like, we completely failed. And again, we failed 7-6 at halftime, and everyone's walking in the locker room disappointed. I'm so tired of that. It's like stop, with just the entitlement of that. It just drives me nuts. Like every team is going to be ready to play us. Like they were chanting overrated at the end of the game. Why? Because you've earned yourself into being 5-1 and being in the top 25. They wanted to play you. So like, I'm just tired of that entitlement of like, oh, this will be easy. Oh, this will be easy. Oh, these guys don't, who are we? You know what I'm saying? We're just and so we're way better when we're like chip on our shoulder, gritty, tough. So, so I don't want to make it sound like I'm not blaming. I don't want to come here and blame people. I want my team to know that like we all have to be better this week. It wasn't nearly good enough. And, Dana worked his ass off last week. Butler worked his tail off last week. It's just, every position has to get their guys ready to play. And if your team position is not tackling, you're not doing a good enough job. If your position's not blocking, you're not doing a good enough job. And so, the season has ebbs and flows. And when you come out of a game, you say, I didn't do a good enough job, then you have to lock in and say, why didn't I do a good enough job? And not be emotional. You don't change everything. You just have to do better the next week. And so, I told Addy, get your secondary to tackle to run through. Let's knock the ball out. I told Terry, let's stop turning sideways. Let's knock the line of scrimmage back. That doesn't mean that they're not working those things all the time, but it's just the ownership of a coaching staff. Like, this is us. What we put on tape is us. And what's happened in coaching over the years is like, now, especially now with the portal, everybody just blames, players aren't good. This guy's not good enough. We're good enough to win. Okay, we're good enough to win. So get your guys ready to play this week. Donnie get the O-line straining and blocking. I'd rather dive and let my quarterback get hit, and then stop diving. How many 15-yard penalties we have as an offensive line this year? It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, just block between the whistles. And so these are my messages, but they all fall on my watch. And so I'm being uniquely candid with you guys today because you guys deserve that. Our fans deserve that. They watch that on Friday night. Ridiculous.
So that wasn't necessarily the direct call or the direct answer that I wanted to play, but I thought, it's telling. There was a lot of telling things yesterday, but there was one specifically where it was like, it talked about he was basically telling guys all week and coaches like, why are you harping on him? Why are you harping on him? And everything. Well, it's because Minnesota was going to be a tough game. And it made the way he made it sound like was that guys were not believing that it was going to be a tough game despite him telling it. And that's like talk about locker room. Like, I can't imagine, Terrell, you guys, when Coach Osborne would come in and tell you something, that you would totally dismiss it and be like, "Oh, this isn't accurate." Because then, if you did, guess what? I would imagine that there were consequences if you just went and openly dismissed it.
I get lost for words when I hear stuff like that. You are what your team is a reflection of you. You made it. This is what you wanted. This is what you put on field when you. Anytime I go in the game, if I'm down 7-6, I think that's already fuel right there. You should be ready to start the third half and come back out and dominate. Matt Rule's in a position where
this is a crucial spot.
Yeah, it's hard to listen to this because it makes him feel like he doesn't believe in these kids. Like when you call entitlement. What part of that entitlement how much involvement did he have in that part of that? As a head coach, your job is to walk around every station at practice and talk. Maybe you should be involved in practice a little bit more and heads up. And when you go to a Pacific group, when you go down there and watch the offensive lines, maybe you need to stay down there more than just 15 minutes. You probably need to spend an hour there. When you go to the DBs and their tackler drill, maybe you need to harp on that group a little bit more. Maybe you need to make practice a little bit harder than what it is. Maybe we need to change up some things that you're doing to make these kids feel privileged like this, or because this concept right here is confusing me on every level. When you have so many excuses that it feels like you're just reading off a pad how much stuff that you collected.
Especially when it comes to offensive line. Here's some before we get to break. Like, we forget also, I think, that Matt was an offensive line coach. He's coached the lines in his time. He coached it. He coached the defensive line early in his career. He coached it a little bit later in the middle parts of his career at Temple. He was an assistant offensive line coach with the New York Giants. This is a guy that, as position groups, in addition to like his time as quarterbacks coach and stuff, he was primarily a defensive or offensive line coach. And for it to not be up to par or even close.
Said this yesterday, Nick. Maybe it's time to put that podcast down and coach a football team.
There's
everybody on this team wants to be a star, but haven't earned them.
I said this last week. All of the stuff, the McAfee appearances and the podcast and everything, they're great when you win. They're great. But what's the first thing to get criticized if you start losing?
Yeah,
it's going to be that stuff that you invited into the space that feels like extra, that feels unnecessary to winning football games.
Yeah,
maybe on the big picture, it can help build Nebraska's brand, and bigger picture, I'll say this: it'll help build your brand. Like, I get that, but also there's something to be said about just trying to keep it internal and just go win football games, because long term, that feels like the most sustainable option. And so when it's all said and done, it's great for Nebraska when you win and when you're entering the top 25, because you can get on a national show and you can talk about why your team is in the position they are. But how do you defend what happened last Friday? How do you defend it? It's undefendable. So it's crazy. It's interesting. All right, let's keep it going. We continue the show after this.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Pinnacle Bank Arena. Friday, October 31st. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pileup. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. The Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to SmokingGunJerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out Renew PM, the ultimate nighttime recovery formula. Fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up refreshed. Renew PM can only be found at Nutrition Authority, the home of better than internet pricing. Own the night with Renew PM. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Midwest Bank is proud to serve Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank making local decisions, supporting community organizations, and helping businesses succeed, with 10 locations throughout the state, from Wisner to Deschler, Norfolk to York, and right here in Lincoln too. Whether you're opening a checking account, buying your first home, in need of an ag loan, or in search of cash management services for your business, we're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine and it will be breezy. An afternoon high around 62. Tonight, clear skies and the light wind, the low around 36. And tomorrow, areas of frost in the morning, otherwise plenty of sunshine with a light breeze. High near 66. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers. Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. It is the Drive 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Standard alongside Terrell Farley here as we continue the show. 402-464-5685. The Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the rest of the way here. I do agree with this one. Jesse says this. He said this earlier in the show, and I wanted to get to it. People need to relax. The last 5 years, we would have taken a one-score win. Now we win a few games by one score, and people are pissed because we aren't winning by 30. At the beginning of the season, we thought 8, 9, possibly 10 wins, and Nebraska can still get there. He followed up last segment by saying this: the way you defend what happened last Friday is you go out this Saturday and blow out Northwestern, period. It's time to move on. It certainly is. And it's unfortunate. You know, Corey and Lincoln said this earlier as well. He says, I don't know how you can expect him to be more accountable than he was. I didn't hear excuses. I would love to hear what you guys think he should have said after that performance on Friday night. Corey, I mean, in full transparency, it's hard to answer that question because you have to also balance it with, like, you can't be unrealistic. And I'm certainly not the type to sit out here and have him throw people under the bus and say, well, Matt Rule needs to, intentionally call out people. And he did yesterday. I guess that just knowing a little bit more about Matt Rule, like, I don't know, Terrell. I mean, help me out here, I guess.
Well, hopefully,
you know what I'm trying to get at.
Well, hopefully, as football minded guys, as most of us are,
yes,
on this thing, even Corey, when you look at the little things in the game that shouldn't happen in week 6, week 7.
Yeah.
When you watch tape and you see a linebacker 2 yards off the ball, as we know, linebackers don't. Me and Jay Foreman had this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Jay, have you ever lined up 2 yards off the ball? He said, no, unless I'm blitzing. Especially that play wasn't a blitz. Marquise Watson-Trent, 2 yards off the ball. They run the other way. He get caught in traffic. Never would have happened if he was 4.5 to 5 yards off the ball. He would have been on that play. Instead of that play went for 30, 40 yards.
I think it's less about what we wanted or didn't want to hear yesterday and more of, like, body of work coming to kind of bite Nebraska in the butt. That's what I would say. Because, Terrell, like, there have been deficiencies for Nebraska football the last, I would say, 4 games.
But you don't throw your team and your coaches up under the bus.
There's that part, right?
He blatantly said what he said. I mean, we can take it how we want to.
Yes.
But I still say that somebody has to take accountability for this.
You know, Jay, and give Coach Rule credit. I mean, he did take accountability, right? And it's one thing to sit behind a podium and be like, oh well, I take responsibility, and then not really be able to back it up. And to Corey's point, and to Matt Rule's credit, yeah, he did. He was pretty forthcoming with a lot of feelings and thoughts yesterday. I think this is where Jay always talks about it on our post game show. He always talks about breaking down the season and looking at it as like individual chapters, right? And for Nebraska specifically, I would look at it as like segments of games. Like, okay, this group of 3 games, did Nebraska get better from game 1 to game 3? From game 4 to game 6, did Nebraska get better? How about game 7 to game 9? Like, you can look at it like a little bit more micro, or you can look at it a little bit more macro, right? And I think that when we go back to the Michigan game, some of the things that Nebraska was struggling at, now they got overpowered, but they got beaten up physically. The physicality from Nebraska specifically was not there on that game. Now, they only lost the game by 3 points, but we can all agree that the scoreboard, it was a lot closer than what it felt like for the majority of the game. And then now you look at, okay, you go on to Michigan State. There were some deficiencies there. You were able to overcome them and win. Nice job. And we gave them credit. Same story, similar story for Maryland. 3 turnovers. There were a lot of offensive line was fine against Maryland. It wasn't great against Michigan State, but maybe you saw a little bit better of play for the offensive line against Maryland. Gave them credit there.
Yeah.
The body of work, though, this is what I'm getting at, is I think why last Friday felt so deflating was because from, let's say, 4 games ago, the Michigan game to now, it doesn't feel like Nebraska's gotten a whole lot better within the season. Maybe big picture wise, and they win 8 games this year. Yeah, we can say, hey, you know what? Overall, they did. But you talked about it earlier. You said devil in the details, the minor little things, Terrell. It doesn't feel like Nebraska's improved in those departments from week 4 to week 7.
Nick, distraction the whole week. This is because of the Penn State.
Oh, sure.
Chatter.
Sure.
This is it. I mean, this team was flat on all edges of every corner we went to. This team was flat. They was flat in the coaching. They was flat in play calling. We've been flat tackling all year, and that's probably one of the main things that irks my nerves about this team right here is how poorly they tackle.
Yeah.
Like, why are you jumping? I don't care if I get ran over, Nick. I'm going to wrap my body up. I'm going to wrap arms up. I'm going to touch you. The way I was taught to tackle, Nick, even if I made my own tackling up, I'm going to grab you first. And then I'm just going to wait for some help and hold you right there.
Sure.
I mean, you see players not doing that. They're not able to run up to the guy and make him come to the inside where all the guys are.
Is it a technique? Is it a want to? I mean, what is it?
No, these players are just weak to me.
Okay.
I mean that's it. I mean they don't know how to tackle.
Okay.
I mean, you learn how to tackle when you're 6 years old.
Sure.
When you're 6 years old, especially if you're a bona fide open field tackler, we don't have none of that.
Deshaun's been the best to that point.
I've seen him make bad tackles too.
He's made. Yeah. I mean, all of them have.
Yeah.
Right.
Marquise Buford. He's the main example when you run in there and you turn it sideways and you just let the guy run right past you like it's a horse race. I don't want to see you catch a guy. I want to see you tackle the guy in the hole. Because first of all, you're missing the point, turning your body, trying to make a tackle. I mean,
sure.
I mean, I've seen you get ran over. Don't be ashamed to get ran over, because it's called contact. I seen a guy get stiffed yesterday in the NFL. Stiff arm. You know what? This guy still got right back up and made the tackle. That's hustle. That's determination. I don't care about not learning how to tackle. I mean, because we don't know how to tackle. And that goes from linebackers to DBs to whoever trying to tackle somebody. We're a poor tackling team. And this shows last week when you keep letting the same running plays bust for long yards. Because you know what? Nobody want to run up and smack the guy.
Yeah. All right, let's get to break. When we come back, we wrap it up. We prepare you for Dana Holgorsen and John Butler today. Those two will speak to the media. Normally, the press conference times are at 11:30. Today, they got bumped back an hour, so it'll be at 12:30. We'll hear from the two coordinators. A day where they were publicly, I wouldn't say ridiculed, but publicly held accountable by their head coach. It'll be a very, very interesting day down at the stadium. Press conference there, 12:30. Dana Holgorsen and John Butler will talk. A lot of stuff to get to. We'll talk about what we expect those two to hear, to say, in the final segment of the show. We'll wrap it up. Nick Sainer, Terrell Farley. We'll be right back on The Drive.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Fuhrer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Fuhrer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Pinnacle Bank Arena. Friday, October 31st. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pile-Up. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. The Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Bonsall Pool & Spa's annual Spooktacular sale is here. Now through November 1st, get an extra $1,000 off hot tubs at an already low sale price and get $500 off the already low sale prices on infrared and traditional saunas. All hot tub water care products and accessories are also for sale for the Spooktacular sale, now through November 1st at Bonsall Pool & Spa at 33rd and Highway 2. Call for more info at 402-488-0148 or visit bonsallpool.com.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you.
Coppel Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Coppel is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Coppel Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at Schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel. Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in one last time on the drive. Nick Sainert alongside Terrell Farley. AD out today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Austin will join me on the show tomorrow and Thursday as well, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the entire show today as well, throughout the rest of the day and the rest of the ticket programs. So make sure you keep chiming in with a lot of your thoughts. Text line's been great today. All right, Terrell, let me get your thoughts on this before we get out of here real quick. We got a few minutes left in the program. Dana Holgorsen, John Butler, what's one thing from each that you want to hear today specifically about the performance on Friday and how maybe they're going to do something different?
First, you would say I have to put my players in position, a better chance to win.
Okay.
I'm going to make practice a lot harder for these guys this week. I only want the ones who's committed and want to go out and play. Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys are old enough to understand what football is and the mechanics that go with it. You've been playing it all your life. It's tired of the excuses, the miscues, the ability to not make the play when it's your turn to make the play.
Yeah.
We drop balls we shouldn't drop. We overthrown passes we should have been thrown right. We hail guys we shouldn't have hailed. I mean, you got to talk to them like it's a business now. They're getting paid, so this is just all what comes with football when you just coming off a loss. I mean, I remember talking to Jay and a couple of guys after they lost to Arizona State because I wasn't there because of suspension. Sure. And that made me mad because I was suspended. So, I knew practice was going to be harder, and it was. It's more crispier and more focused. It's more determination. I didn't think we lost another regular season game that year. And these guys, like I say, Nick, it's the ABCs of football. It's the little things. It's play calling. I mean, do the things that you got to do to get Ja'Cory Barney the ball. Isaiah Hunter, he does his part. Mm-hmm. Dan Key, he's the factor. He's missing. I mean, he's not worth that $800,000, because that 20 catches on 260 yards in 6 games. You was only good for you. You're only good as what videotape show you. And I didn't ever thought he was that guy to bust it wide open. I mean, you look at a guy like Mike Evans. He got the same size as Mike Evans. I mean, you look like that guy should be doing damage out there. Maybe he's not getting the ball enough. Maybe you have too many factors and too many people out there not to gain momentum and go down there and score. And it's just a simple fact we're not being able to do that. I mean, we just talk about the offensive line. I mean, this guy got 25 sacks, and it's only 6 games into the season, 7 games.
Yeah,
he's on pace for 52. You know, when you look at things like that, that's stats that you don't want to see.
Yeah.
So, you know, give Emmett the ball more. I mean, that's the other thing I said. Make it. I mean, it's when you talk about this air raid offense, it's not air raid. It looks like a hot air balloon coming down. I mean, you're not getting the same results that you got when you played Houston Christian, when you played Akron. Yeah. You know, everything's been downhill since you played those games, and sure. Especially when you jump into Big Ten action, because now you're not playing like that Big Ten team you thought.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting. Once again, they will speak to the media at 12:30 Central Time today. Normally at 11:30, it got pushed back an hour simply just because the players are on fall break from classes. So football practice and meetings got pushed back an hour. And so instead of it being at 11:30, it's going to be at 12:30 today. The conversations with Dana Holgorsen and John Butler. All right, Terrell, we're out of here. Thank you, my friend, for sitting in. Always a pleasure. Always appreciate it.
All right, Nicholas.
One-on-one with DP is up next. Stay tuned. Plenty more Husker conversation here on The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. This has been The Drive. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
This is your year where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of